it's been a while, but I think I am officially ready to give you guys my final studio update tour. So for the past few weeks, I've actually been going back and forth, making minor changes, and I think the current layout is what I've set my heart on. So yeah, I'm super excited to show you guys a little bit more about my personal studio space, as well as maybe get into some more details about why I decided to move things into certain areas, and maybe even go into more detail about certain furniture pieces that I've collected over the past few years and even more recently. So with that being said, I'm ready to show you guys a little more in-depth tour of my studio space. Now, before I begin, I do want to preface that my studio space has actually gone through many visions over the years. With different furnitures and different layouts, I've redone this whole basement numerous times. And so this current layout is not very different from the previous one. However, I did want to make the space look and feel a little bit more spacious while incorporating some new furniture and appliances. So by providing a few photos of my previous layout, I asked ChatGPT to come up with a few different variations with the prompt of making it feel more spacious and less cluttered, while also possibly even removing some of the current furniture. And here we are. This is how the current layout is. So if you guys are in a very similar situation and you want to update or renovate your space, definitely give AI a chance to help make your life a little bit easier. So this is the very first area I wanted to share and talk to you guys about, and this is the new and improved plant space. Now previously right here were two big laundry machines, one dryer and one washer, and unfortunately a few months ago the dryer went kaput. Now since those two laundry machines have been here for so long, the walls were not painted and the ground was looking a little bit crusty. So what I did was I went ahead and I repainted the walls white right here, so that it looks a little bit more uniform with everything else. I also went ahead and I plugged up any of the little holes from screws with some drywall spackling, and then I tidied everything up and I moved the plant space over here. Now, I'm definitely not a plant person myself, but I do have an appreciation for them, and I do think the greenery does help in any kind of space that you might be living in. Especially with how I've set my studio space to be very warm. I think the green is a very well complementary color to the overall aesthetic of my space. So yeah, this is the new plant area where all the plants are going to be situated at. It's close to the door and it's also close to the other sink that's over there in case I need to water it. And since we're in this area anyways, I'm going to talk about this little section right here. Now this lamp is an IKEA lamp that I purchased secondhand, I think last year, and it's always actually been situated right here. Next to it, we have this new shoe stand, shoe rack. Previously, they were kind of all displayed on the floor on this little 2-level thingamabobber, and it just wasn't very pleasant and pleasing to the eye because you can see all the shoes and they were just not the prettiest and nicest of shoes really. They were just all slippers that would be in and outside of the dirt. So yeah, I decided to upgrade to this new stand, and as you can see, you can flip it out when you need a shoe, you need a slipper, and then you close it and hide all the shoes away when you don't need it. And situated now on top of this tin can is my old Akari lamp that I used to put in another area that I moved over here. Now this Akari lamp is actually one of my favorite light fixtures that I have in my entire studio space. So behind me here is the wall that I probably face the most out of all the 4 walls here in my studio space. This is where I do my work sitting or standing. This is where I'm watching YouTube videos, editing a video, editing some photos. This is my workspace. This is where the magic happens. Now previously the desk was actually a little bit shifted over to that side, and it wasn't aligned and centered with the ceiling. So it looked a little bit odd in my opinion, and that's why I decided to shift it over to kind of help center it to this wall as well. And it was actually one of the very suggestions that ChatGPT gave me. Now right here, I have two LG monitors hooked up to my MacBook Pro, and I've been using these two LG monitors for the past 2 to 3 years, and in my opinion, their color science and color grading isn't terrible. It's not the best, it's not, Apple Mac quality, but in my opinion, it works great for how it is, and I don't really have too many complaints for it. Now, these past 2 to 3 years, I haven't had any issues with these monitors, and in my opinion, they're pretty great. They're hooked up to my MacBook Pro, and in the event where I do need to be very nitpicky about the coloring, I will just unplug the monitors from my MacBook and edit directly from my laptop. Now for sound, I am using some Logitech speakers that I purchased in middle school or high school. These were the very first speakers that I ever purchased, and I don't even think you can buy them anymore. They're that old. This here is a Xiaomi Monitor Lite, and it comes with this remote. This remote is actually really cool. It's very minimalistic, which I really like. It's just a black circular spinning button, and if you spin it, it actually dims the light. You spin it back, it turns the light, and if you want to just completely turn it off, you just give it a press, it turns it off. I really enjoy just how simple this is, as it sits on top of my monitor stand that I mentioned earlier. This is my own makeshift monitor stand that I use to hold any SSD cards, micro SD cards, whatever peripherals and things that I need to put on my desk. In case I do run out of space on my desk, I have this additional storage compartment. For my keyboard here, I am using, I believe, the Keychron K2. I bought this, I think, 4 to 5 years ago. This is the very first mechanical keyboard that I purchased though, and I just love how simple it is. It's this aluminum frame, I believe, and it's got some orange accents, and I paired it with this orange coiled cable here so that I have wired capabilities, because I do think the Bluetooth feature is a little bit finicky, and the battery does need to be charged every couple of months or so, or weeks, and just keeping it plugged in means it's one less thing I have to worry about the battery dying. For my mouse, I am using very first version of the Logitech MX Master, and obviously the mouse and the keyboard are situated on two desk mats, one white one which has these geographical lines, which in my opinion is very aesthetic, and then I have this felt gray one which is just a little bit wider to kind of help protect the table from getting scratches or dents. And right here I also have an Anker wireless MagSafe charger for my iPhone, and it also doubles as an AirPod charger, but I think it only lets you charge one or the other at once. And now you guys might be wondering what exactly this whole desk setup is. This tabletop is actually from IKEA, and it's separated from the standing portion. I believe IKEA sells this tabletop for their own sit-stand desk, but I wasn't a huge fan of how the feet were, so I went with another brand. It's a Canadian brand called Motion Gray, and they actually sell it separately from their tabletop so that you can kind of make your own makeshift version. Now obviously with my whole color scheme going on in my studio space, I went with this dark walnut colored tabletop from IKEA, and then I went with white stands from Motion Gray. Newly situated on the left of my desk is this glass cabinet that used to sit on the other wall over there. Inside this glass cabinet here, I am displaying some of my old cameras that I've used, some toys and cars that I really like and want to display and show off, such as this really nice RWB that was gifted to me from a local friend. I have a Cause statue over there. I have some trophies from car shows that I have previously attended and have won. And just some other very hype-like things that I enjoy a lot and would like to kind of add to the aesthetic of my studio space. Now this next area here is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite new updates. Now, previously I had a pretty big and bulky cabinet shelf right here, and although it was really nice and aesthetic to look at, it kind of blocked this wall and it made the space feel very small because this area was very crowded. Now, beside me here, I have two of my favorite puzzles that I've built. They are part of a collab between the MoMA Museum as well as KAWS, the famous artist. If you know me personally, I am a huge fan of puzzles, and I'm also a huge fan of KAWS. So when I found out that they collabed and they made these puzzles that are 1,000 pieces, I quickly went ahead and I purchased them and I built them. Now, if I had to pick a favorite corner, this is probably the favorite corner. Now, this pegboard here, I mainly use as a charging station. This is to charge all my camera batteries, my drone batteries, anything that needs charging down here in my studio. I typically do it right here. So with the help of a lot of the accessories like this shelf, the hooks, these little two box container things that I'm holding charge batteries and not charge batteries, I'm utilizing all of the IKEA accessories just for this charging station. In my opinion, I think this is pretty cool and kind of nerdy in a way, but it's very aesthetic because it kind of blends in with the wall and it blends in with this right here. This is my Husky toolbox. Now, this toolbox here is what I use to hold all my tech stuff basically. At the bottom shelf down here, I have a bunch of peripherals like suction cup mounts, flashes, walkie-talkies, gaff tape, extra LED lights. I have a lot of accessories that I keep at the bottom because the bottom shelf is usually what I use the least, and it holds the things that I only need for certain occasions. Second shelf right here, I hold my gimbal, a lot of bags, my drone, things that are big and bulky that I do use on a more frequent basis, but they have their own little like storage units. This is where I keep them. Now, the third shelf is where all the expensive stuff is. This is where I hold all my lenses and my camera bodies. In total, I have like 8 different lenses that I use for different occasions and on a pretty regular basis, I think. And then I have my video camera body, my photo camera body, and then I have the one that I'm filming on, my vlogging camera body. In total, I keep all my expensive camera stuff in this shelf right here, away from the environment, away from anything falling on it or damaging it. This is where the expensive shit is. And then lastly, the top shelf is the smallest and thinnest height. And this is where I keep a lot of the other accessories like, you know, my camera straps, my grip arms, my lens caps, my blower, my other accessories, screws and things that can only fit in such a small height of a shelf. This is where I keep it.
I know you only want me when you're drunk and feeling lonely. Don't text me things you don't mean. You know I'll fall for it once and again. You keep me guessing and you keep on messing with me. Am I just another girl to you?
Now, this next huge area right here is what I would like to call the living room. It's still the same old uncomfortable IKEA couch. It's really just for aesthetics. It's this dark gray look that matches the colors of my studio. Now, right here in front of me is the very first coffee table that I ever built myself. This holds a lot of sentimental value being the very first one. And now sitting underneath my coffee table is this beep rug. This beep rug I've actually had for maybe like 6-7 years already, and it's seen its days. Right here I have my 65-inch Samsung Smart TV that I don't really use for its smart features. I really just use this TV as a huge ass monitor because, as you can see, I have hooked up my Mac Mini. This Mac Mini is what I used to use, and now I just have it hooked up to this TV and I just use it for streaming, for watching TV, and in the future I will be using it to play on my new sim rig. Now, behind my TV here I have this huge slat wall. This is not something you can go ahead and purchase at IKEA or Costco. This is something I actually built myself. It took me 2 days to build this with my girlfriend, and I think it really helps complement my studio space, and it really gives my studio space that unique look because of the slat wall. And finally, the last corner, the final update, my new to me sim rig. Previously right here was the plant area, and we've gone ahead and we've moved that over already, and we have now placed here my new to me sim rig. This is the Playseat Trophy, and it is, in my opinion, the nicest looking sim rig chair setup that you can get on the market. Now, earlier this year, my friend asked me to help him create content and market his brand new sim racing accessory business. And over the past few months of going back and forth to this place to film content, we finally decided that I should go ahead and get my own sim rig so that I don't need to travel back and forth to his place. And also we can change the scenery, change the environment of the content we're making. So lo and behold, this is my new to me sim rig. This is the chair. I'm missing the pedals, the steering wheel, and the shift box right now, but I'm gonna be installing those really soon. So this is where the sim rig is gonna permanently reside unless I'm playing in front of the TV. I think this is the best spot because one, we're situated right in front of a white wall, so that helps create a lot of contrast. And with how pretty and slender and sleek looking this rig is set up, I think it really helps complement my whole studio space, as well as make this not just a sim rig, but also like an art piece. We're also only like a couple of feet in front of the TV if I ever want to move it. So yeah, this is the ideal spot to be placing this. And once I have the steering wheel, the pedals, and the gear shift set up, I'm basically ready to start creating content. Since this setup is really just for creating content, I definitely didn't want to cheap out and get something that was, desk mounted or something that was contrasting the colors of my studio. And that's why I decided to go with the Playseat Trophy because one, I really like how it's designed. It's designed to be feeling like you're sitting in a cockpit, and overall, the color, the matte finish, the silver accents, it just complements everything, and like I said, it makes it look like an art piece rather than just, a piece of furniture or a tool that you're just using to play a video game on. And that officially concludes my little studio tour. I'm definitely feeling a lot more spacious in my studio. There's a lot more space over there. The sim rig is now set up. Low-key, the whole reason why I redesigned my entire studio is really just for the sim rig. The sim rig was the sole purpose of making that space open and available so that I can put the sim rig there. And yeah, I'm super excited. I know that there's going to be some changes over the next couple of months. I do plan on putting some, pictures of cars that I've taken in the past, or, artwork related to cars. I want to make that area just like the car corner. So that's definitely one change I already have in mind. But other than that, I think everything I'm super happy and content with. Well, for sure, this is not gonna be the last time I'm making changes to my studio space, but for now, I am pretty darn happy with how it looks and how spacious it feels. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have stuck around to this very last portion of the video, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.